Hi guys, this is Michelle. So Joe and I together have decided that we're going to do this Wig Wednesday for you guys. So this is week 1 and we just want to do a bit of a chat and introduce ourselves. So we'll start off with Joe, and here's Joe's alopecia story.
Hi, my name's Jo, also known as Bald Mother Tucker, and I lost my hair in 2018, so I'm about 2.5 years in. My hair disappeared in 2 weeks after finding a patch just before Christmas, and I had a patch historically, certainly while I was pregnant, and this time it seemed to feel a bit different, and the shed happened so much quicker, to the point where actual clumps were just coming out in huge handfuls. I dreaded brushing my hair. Washing my hair was just a nightmare every day, and so I eventually went from kind of hairy to zero. Yeah, it was about 2 weeks. I had the Christmas break, so I'd had blood tests just before Christmas, and then by the time I went back to work after the Christmas break, I was in a wig. So I started Bald Mother Tucker at the point of getting my first wig. I remember I was sat in bed one evening, and I used Instagram anyway, and I just kind of came up with this handle, Bald Mother Tucker, because it was everything that I was. And I felt that to help me deal with what had happened by being open and openly telling people. So I figured that if I got there first, before they would kind of have an inkling that I started wearing wigs or something was up, then they wouldn't have anything to say further down the line, because I got there first, which I stand by being a good decision, actually, because it was a weight lifted off my shoulders. I didn't feel as though I had to hide. I felt like I could be really open about the situation.
Hi guys, so I'm Michelle, and my story is, we all have different stories, but I went from the same. I had hair, had a minor patch previously, but nothing extensive, nothing worth seeking any help about or paying attention to. It was just, just a wee bit of skin there where I should have hair. Oh, there we go, move on. Came back, never an issue. And then in 2015, so I'm just coming up 5 years, actually, almost exactly, with alopecia. I was getting ready for work one day, went in the shower and washed my hair, and a clump of hair actually came out, and it was just a shock kind of thing for me, and I took a photo of the back of my head. My husband, my children were in bed sleeping. I'm a nurse, I was starting work early, and I just grabbed like a kind of scarf, like a neck scarf, put it over my hair, tied it to hide the back of my head, and just decided I was just need to go to work. Within a couple of days I lost another patch from here. I was so distraught. It was just a shock. I couldn't hide it. Somebody suggested to me shaving my head and raising money for Macmillan, for the Brave the Shave campaign that they offer. I wish back then I had known about the Alopecia UK charity as well, but I kind of thought, that's fine. If my hair comes back, it's going to all come back at one length anyway. If it doesn't come back, we'll see what happens. So people were so kind and sponsored me. I shaved my head day by day. The patches grew bigger, more appeared. I lost my eyebrows. My eyelashes fell out. When my eyelashes came out, I just felt broken. I felt like I didn't know who I was anymore. I struggled, and then I felt selfish because I felt like I was being really vain. I felt like there are so many worse things going on, and yet I was totally distraught over the fact that I didn't have hair any longer. I found it so tough. I would laugh and joke, and like my kind of hair loss, it was all patchy at pieces all over, but the kind of, in theory, the last hair to go was like kind of my ankles and my legs. And I remember when my eyelashes fell out, I was broken. I made my husband take the mirrors down out of our bedroom, and I was like joking to people. I would say, can't wear mascara, have to shave my legs, ha 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 ha. But at home I was crying, I was a mess. Nobody really saw what went on behind closed doors apart from my family. I was broken, I was destroyed. I just felt I had never experienced something so emotionally challenging. And I think for me, I always say, and I always think, you know, it's not about how physically dangerous something is, the impact it can have on you. You know, losing my hair wasn't a physically dangerous thing, but for me, losing my hair is one of the biggest emotional things I've probably had to go through. I've had health conditions that are physically serious and dangerous, but whereas alopecia is quite benign in that way, for me, the fact it wreaks havoc with your intellectual, your emotional, social, spiritual aspects of who you are, it's massive. It's just, it totally made me question who I was. I felt like I was losing my identity. What I saw in the mirror was the kind of physical embodiment of my Michelle, my me, and it was changing rapidly. So was I changing inside? Like I struggled so badly.
I think from the beginning, one of the most important things I embraced quite quickly was the fact that wearing a wig, I tried to take it as a positive, I tried to turn it into a positive experience. So I felt quite a lot of shame in needing a wig, and I feel quite embarrassed to say that now, because at the time, you just associate them with illness, you associate them with, it's got really negative connotations to needing a wig, when in fact it's wearing the wig at a time when I wasn't ready to be bald. Wearing the wig changed my perception on everything. I'd always been incredibly fickle, growing my hair, cutting my hair in the run-up over the years, and so now wig wearing almost suits me better, because it's the last thing I put on in the morning once I've got my outfit together for the day, and then I think, oh, what hair will go with this? And I like the fact that I can have what I call Saturday night hair, which is like my long wigs. I can have Saturday night hair for a night out, and then I can have something like this. This is what I call my mum blogger wig. I can have this, you know, on a day in the office, and the blonde goes nicely with a pink jumper, but tomorrow I could be brunette, and I have absolutely embraced the fact that I have that as an advantage. It's the silver lining in a shit situation that, yeah, I'm embracing, and I certainly enjoy the fact that I'm able to wear alternative hair, absolutely. And it's great actually to have the option to be able to take it off as well, because if you are somewhere hot, or I get really hot and sweaty hoovering, if the house, you know, if you're hot at home, you can just take your hair off, and it's or go to the gym, and you can, you know, and I've got Braver, I just take my hair off, and that is an advantage. You can't really deny that.
By the point I saw a dermatologist, I think I had maybe just the tiniest patch of hair, maybe here, and some patchy body hair, very little. And they said to me, this is alopecia areata, you actually have alopecia universalis. Literally, you could count the hairs that I had left in my body, it was pretty much zero. And the dermatologist was very honest with me, and he said, you know, the chances are, we don't know how this will manifest. The follicle's alive, so potentially you could always grow your hair back. Realistically, you probably won't, and if you do, it will probably fall out again. So that was the kind of stage I was at, and I knew he was going to discuss things with me in regards to treatment options. And for me personally, I had done a lot of research. I had read the systematic review in regard to nothing could be stated as a good probability for regrowth. You know, they couldn't prove that anything was significant and enough to class as effective as a treatment. So for me, I felt like for me what I had to do was acceptance, instead of trying to hope for something in a cure that realistically probably wouldn't happen. For me, my way for me to cope with it and the treatment I needed was to accept the position I was in. And it sounds so easy, I just need to accept it and move on. And you know, it's not that easy. I don't want people to necessarily see me without a wig on, or without a hat on. I was living in hats at the start, I couldn't afford a wig. I didn't want people to see me, and I swore nobody would actually ever see me without hair, but face to face. But what I did was I ended up, I think part of my coping, documenting my journey and posting it on Facebook or on Instagram, and then found this hair loss community, the Alopecia UK group, the Scottish Alopecia group as well, and I just felt like I was part of this big support community. I met a friend who's a very good friend and has always been just so supportive of me from the start, and she said to me, Michelle, it's okay to grieve the loss of your hair, and it's probably the best advice I've ever had, is to be allowed, it's okay not to be okay. It took me a long time to really believe that, but as I did, I wanted to be able to help others. And you know, I think a big milestone for me when I was at the acceptance, it was kind of summer of 2015, and then the January 2016 for my birthday, I said to my husband I wanted to get a tattoo on my head. Now I have a lot of tattoos now, if you guys know me you'll know this. I didn't have many tattoos back then, I really didn't, and I decided I wanted to have something done on my scalp. So actually a big milestone was me having this tattoo on my head, which is probably covered in makeup. But I had this lotus mandala, which is a sign of spiritual awakening. And for me, you know, the symbolic meaning was really important, and I felt I had changed, I had grown, and I was moving forward, and this was a real turning point, and I was not ashamed of who I am.
The hair loss in the early days was devastating. I was just beside myself with worry. I thought I was really, really seriously ill. I could literally pull hair like this, and a whole handful, I wouldn't feel it leave my head. It was just the strangest sensation. It would just come away like fluff, and then it was in your hand, and it massive, great big clumps of it. And it was, yeah, just seeing that every day, it was just soul destroying. Yeah, really, really upsetting. I felt as though I was vain for worrying about the fact that my hair was falling, and making such a fuss, especially when kind of my GP was just very, oh, you know, you're not an emergency, just, you don't need emergency blood tests, everything's fine. So yeah, that was, it took, it did take quite a while to come to terms with that.
We will share a bit of our story as time's going on, you'll hear a bit more, but for now this is really just an introduction for you guys, and I guess next week will probably be wig chat. So, you know, it's going to be fairly chilled, fairly relaxed, both of us talking, so feel free to ask any questions you want to ask. Tune in and we will speak to you all soon. Sending you all of our love. And don't forget to follow Jo, follow me. You can do that on Instagram. Let's be friends. And yeah, just be your own beautiful, because you are beautiful. Anyway, I'm going to go. I talk too much. That's my problem. I know that. Bye guys.